So, another movie review. I'm trying to focus on movies that not everyone has had the chance to see, not everyone has heard about. So this time I'm going to talk about a movie that is totally underrated. Mostly when I meet people and mention it, they've never even heard of it or even imagined the concept. But it's an amazing movie that I just could not recommend more. It's a masterpiece. Strings by the Danish director Danish. Norwegian pronunciation. Don't try that in Denmark. They're probably not even going to understand the name. But I can't do Danish pronunciation. It may look like a movie for kids at first glance, but it's not, because even though the way it's made seems more in the kiddie geared type of movie, it's the subject matter is not at all for children. It's very dark. Basically, what makes it so unique is the way it's made, namely with dolls. Dolls that, you know, are operated by strings. The story is nothing like what you might expect from that type of stop motion animation, or sorry, I shouldn't say stop motion because it's not, because the dolls are moving in real time, but yeah, animation in a way. Basically, I'm not going to give away too much of the story, but basically we're in a kingdom called Hebelon, which is at war, and it's ruled over by an emperor who appears to have taken his own life in this very fragile state for the kingdom, a state of war. But his son, Tara, who is obviously the prince and heir, he finds out from various sources that his father did not take his own life, but instead was assassinated. And of course he becomes quite swallowed up by a wish to find his father's killers and to exact his revenge. And this kingdom, or empire, they have a sort of hereditary enemy, another people, another nation that lives outside, outside their society, because Tara and his people, they are city dwellers, very civilized, and this their enemy, this people, they live in a more simple way, more sort of communing with nature and whatever. And they're always told, they're raised to believe that these people are evil and out to destroy them, and they must always be resisted. And Hal is told that they are the ones who are behind his father's assassination. And when his sister is also kidnapped, it becomes clear to Hal that he has to leave the city, avenge his father, and recover his sister, of course. And when he finds these people, of course, again, you're not going to be surprised to hear that he learns that what he has been taught his whole life isn't necessarily, things are a bit more complicated than that. And is it really this arch enemy that has had his father, the emperor, assassinated? Or could there be conspiracies going on that Hal knows nothing of, but that are as dangerous to him now as the heir to the throne, the new emperor, as they were to his father? That is what Hal has to find out, and to stop the conspirators before they can take over and end his father's line forever. And Hal, for him, it's a journey of discovery when he learns the truth about this enemy nation that he has hated, really, for his whole life, believing what he has been taught by his elders and by his whole culture. When he has to accept the truth that is not as it seems, then there are a lot of other things too that happen to our hero that makes him reassess his life, basically. It's a fantasy-style story, and it's an absolutely epic story. It's, good versus evil, the battle against yourself, to find your better self. It's just absolutely the big issues of humanity that it deals with, even though everything is presented by dolls. And I just have to say that it is so incredibly intelligently made, the way they use the whole doll thing, that children are not born, they're carved, if I remember correctly, and they come to life when their parents attach strings to them. And as the characters grow older, their strings get worn, and when the last string snaps, they die. And in battle, what you want is to cut your opponent's strings, because that kills him. He can no longer move when all the strings are gone. It's just the way they use the concept is so smart and so creative that enough is worth seeing the story for. But the screenplay is wonderful, the actors are so wonderful. I've seen it. I saw it originally in the Danish original. The edition I have here is dubbed into Swedish and English. I've only seen the Swedish version, I think, but everything I've seen from this movie is total quality, so hopefully the English dub is also very good. The story is amazing. Just the whole concept is brought to life so well. It may sound silly, but it totally works. This is the first movie ever made with that kind of puppets in every playing every character. I don't know if any of us made sense. This is from 2004. The original title is Strings, since the English title, so that's what you should look for. It's just an amazing movie. I'm going to try to find the trailer to add to the end of this video to give you a glimpse. It's just fantastically well made, not just the dolls, but the whole, all the settings, the city, everything Hal passes through on this journey. The battle scenes are astonishing. They're just a must-see. There's nothing that I would change about this movie. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's one of my favorites. The only thing I would change is that more people should see it. It should be more known, because it is a fantastic piece of work. If you like epic fantasy movies, this is something you cannot miss. And if you like unique, original cinematic vision, you should definitely see it, because this is a concept that is so original and creative, and it really does work. An amazing story, fantastically well made. The dolls are so expressive, you almost stop thinking about the fact that they aren't actors, but just carved wood. Astonishing. Strings from Denmark, made by Anders Rønnow Klarlund. Absolutely amazing movie. You might see it with your kids if they're older, and you see it with them so you can explain, but again, not for children. Don't put your 5-year-old in front of the TV watching this, because this is, it's a dark movie. There's a lot of violence, and the violence is more disturbing than you might think with just puppets. So definitely a creative, original, very unusual, very unique movie for adults who like fantasy, who like epic stories, who like originality. Strings. Look for it. You won't be sorry.
You said you wanted to know the secret? Then come with me.
In a world beyond your imagination, in a world where strings from heaven create all life on earth, a son is born to a king.
Thin and fine. Wow. Connect this body to all life.
But in the innocence of youth,
You have to entangle us, Mom.
he is blind to the lurking peril that stalks his father.
My son, I leave you the throne of Hepalon. As for your sister, guard her more closely than your own life. But beware of my wicked brother.
When his eyes are opened to the plight of his people, he sets out to avenge his father's death.
You mustn't go.
Let go of my strings.
Don't leave me, Hal.
No.
It'll be the death of me.
On a quest into the unknown, he will find an answer in the face of an enemy.
Kill the boy.
Strength in the face of adversity.
He's heavy, this one. God, has to be solid mahogany. I'm the son of the coral. This idiot's got desert fever.
And love in the face of a stranger.
Now look up. Can you see where you end?
No.
And where you end, I begin. In that way, we are all connected.
Why?
But a traitor awaits his return.
We are all connected.